Oops, wait. Hey, I think I'm still it. Hi guys. Hey, hello. Live and alive from here in Manila, Philippines. It's February 24, 2019, and I'm here for another live stream and reacting to a lot of national final results in this Eurovision pre-selection season. So earlier, I woke up early at 5 a.m. to catch Portugal's Festival de Canção 2019, and it was it was their second semifinal, and yeah, and it was a pretty good show actually. Uh, what happened exactly? Um, so as mentioned just now, they just had their second semifinal, and four acts qualified to the final uh, for next week's finale. Uh, and they are NBC, Mariana Bragada. I hope I got her name right. Surma and Madre de Paz. Madre Paz. It was it's a very surprising. The results were rather surprising. I did not expect the jury to like Surma with her song Punya or Pugna. And yeah, and there was a lot of televote support for um for Madre Paz. They're a band, and yeah, and their entry was more uh, indie slash alternative pop slash acoustic, and of course the clear favorite of the night and was in no it is without a doubt has a slot in the final was NBC with Igual a T, equal to you. And yeah, he was very good live. Actually, a lot of the acts sounded well live. The one that I was actually disappointed was the first act of the night, uh, Lara Laquiz, and her entry. Eo, o lugar, the place. I think while I like the choreography, everything about the performance was great except for the live vocals. I think she had pretty weak vocals at least for that performance. So he did not meet my expectations. I had two other favorites that night. Joao Cotto with O Jantar and Dan Riverman with Lava. Se de lava se perder. Yeah. Actually, in fact, uh, Dan Riverman actually tied with Mariana Bragada. They all we they were scored pretty well by both the televoters and the jury, so they got tied at joint fourth place. However, as per competition rules, the jury will decides decides who which act they will take to the final. They're the deciding tiebreaker, and with that they brought in Mariana instead of Dan Riverman. Although I like Mariana, but I also like Dan Riverman. So you understand the conflict I had with the semifinal. Yes. So they're going to join Conan Osiris, Kalema, Matay, and the other acts. I forgot the other act. I'm sorry. I think it's also the one who got tied at fourth place. Ah, yeah. The one who sang Inertia. Ana Claudia. Yes. So I think the final will happen in if Porto, in Porto, Portugal. So it's going to be a very exciting final, to say the least. At least 3 hours, at least at least 2 hours of actual acts performing, and then an additional hour for for the for the extra stuff, including the counting of the votes from the regional juries and the televoters. So a quick summary on how Portugal will select their acts in the final. So on the night, uh, there will be regional juries from all across Portugal who will assess the acts and give them their top 10 songs, top 10 rated songs, which and those rankings will be combined to form a cohesive ranking of all the top 10 songs that are uh, generally liked by the jury. So for example, and then they will be and each of the top 10 will be given points. So the top so the one in the so the top one song will get 12 points and the top 10 will get 1 point. I think that's how it goes. Yes. And then the total voters will then round up the fifth their half of the vote with their own set of points. And then, in case of a tiebreaker, which happens very often in Festival de Cansao, this time around, the public televote will determine the winner and break the tie. Okay. So, in other news, Lithuania, Ukraine, and Denmark just recently selected their acts to their respective national selections. Over at Lithuania, Eurovisios Atranka has seen Jurius win with his song "Roaring with Lions," and there were reports that there may be some allegations of plagiarism with "Roaring with Lions." And from what I've read so far in the news is that the EBU will assess and process and will assess the song after the final and then give the Lithuanian broadcaster (LRT) to determine if it's clear for submission. In because the submission of entries of all songs from all participating broadcasters will happen to will happen on will happen in this March. So it's going to be a few weeks from now. And then over in neighboring Ukraine, Vidbir 2009 concluded with Maruv winning the selection with the song Siren Song. So it was a very controversial show to say the least. The panel plus the host were bringing in national politics into the contest, with and which for which the finalists were placed on the spot, which I found to be rather unfair. And then, yeah, I think there was even a point where even the vice president of Ukraine chimed in on Twitter saying that no Ukrainian act should represent Eurovision if they have career commitments in neighboring Russia, for which Ukraine currently has a war with over Crimea, and that's a whole other issue, very messy indeed. Yes. So the Vidbeer is produced by commercial broadcaster STV, and from there, the Ukrainian public broadcaster, who is the one responsible for everything Eurovision, will confirm Maruv as the public broadcaster's representative. Yeah. Oh, and just to add, STB is the private broadcaster who produces and organizes the national selection Vidbeer 2019. Okay, so enough with the drama. Over in Ukraine, we then set forth to Denmark with Danish Melody Grand Prix. So there were a lot of acts who took part on the night, about 10 acts, and there were three, and then so there were two rounds of voting, for which three were selected for the so-called super final, and then another round of voting occurred afterwards. And while I was rooting for League of Lights, the song, which has Greenlandic lyrics in it, the the jur- the combined votes determined that Leonora's love love is a way of life. I think that's a name. Leonor they chose Leonora to be their act for Eurovision 2019. Her song will be the first song to have to feature Danish for the very first time since 1997. Yes, 1997. So it's rather quite historic. In fact, the song itself contains not just uh, a couple of Danish phrases, it also contains French. So it's a mostly English song with Danish phrases and French stanzas. That's going to be a very interesting act to see in Tel Aviv. And then, of course, Sweden just had its fourth semifinal of Melody Festival. And I don't recognize most of the acts except for two, Lisa Ajax and John Lundvik. So out of those two that I've mentioned, John Lundvik qualified to the final, and Lisa Ajax is proceeding to Andrew Chansen, which is Melody Festival's wildcard rounds. Hence Andrew Chansen, which means I think second chance in Swedish. Okay, people can correct me on that, but yeah. So if ever John Lundvik wins Melody Festival, he actually doesn't have to worry about qualifying for the semifinal for Swedish semifinal in the European Song Contest in Tel Aviv because he is a co-writer of he's a co-writer of one of the entries that is already pre-qualified for the final, which is the United Kingdom's Bigger Than Us, which he co-wrote with Barker, who also has another song qualified in the final, which is Germany's Sister by Sisters, which whose national final Div 1 recently last Friday in Europe, which was early Saturday morning here in the Philippines. The name of the national final there is Answer Live for Israel, which although personally I would like to call it Answer Song. Yeah, and it's a pretty damn good song, if you ask me. Okay, so so we've now heard about one third of all the total songs so far, or the one fourth of all the songs, going to almost a half by the end of the following week, and then by March we're going to hear most of the internally selected songs, and find out some of the countries' internally selected artists and their respective yet to be revealed songs. So we've yet to hear about Israel, North Macedonia, uh, Greece. Who else? Malta. Malta song has yet to be revealed, but we already know who the act is. Uh, Israel is going to internally select their song for Kobe, and Georgia will have its final next week, I believe. So we're also going to find out the winning song from one of the four finalists there. And Austria, we're also going to find that song sometime sometime in March. Russia as well. Russia will find out the name of the name of the song of Sergei's entry, likely by March or end of the month. Yeah. So okay. So that's it for now. If I have any news, I'll share with you. And yes, this is actually another live stream of the same topic that I had this morning, which I had an earlier live stream. Unfortunately, the live stream uh, from that time from earlier this morning had some audio problems, so I had to record it again a few hours later. So this is several hours later. Okay, so this has been James Abitan. Thank you again for watching me blab about stuff that you probably don't know about here for 15 minutes. So see you guys next time. Bye.